Everyone. So let me give some brief introduction about the entomology. So first of all, entomology is the word which was derived from the language Greek. You know that wherever there is a logy, these words are usually derived from the Greek languages itself. Like it may be like pomology, zoology, biology, etc. And all. So here, in case of entomology, the word entomology is derived from Greek word where entomon means insect, logos means study. So entomology is nothing but the branch of science that deals with the study of insects. And again, the word insect is derived from the Latin language. So that is insecere, which means to contato. Because in case of insects, you can see there are different segmentations will be there. So totally there will be nearly 20 number of segments will be there. So with the three regions, there is head, thorax, and then abdomen. Okay. Now, if you see about the position of the insects in animal kingdom, so in case of animal kingdom, again it is classified into invertebrate and then vertebrates. Invertebrates are nothing but the animals without any backbone, and vertebrates, they are the animals with the backbone, like it may be fishes, amphibia, reptilia, aves, including the human beings who comes under the mammalia. So insects comes under invertebrata since they don't have any backbones. In case of invertebrate, there are many number of phylums are there, like phylum Platyhelminthes, phylum Nematohelminthes, phylum Mollusca, phylum Annelida, phylum Arthropoda, and many things are there. Among all the phylums, insects are comes under phylum Arthropoda. So along with insects, even lobsters, spiders, crabs, mites, ticks, they are also comes under phylum Arthropoda. It is the biggest phylum in the animal kingdom. If you see the pie chart of it, so when you compare the phylum Arthropoda with all the living organisms, it is more than 70% of the species are belongs to phylum Arthropoda itself. So where you can see the insects. Now, if when you are going to compare the insect species with all the animals, so more than 73% or nearly 73% of the species are belongs to insect itself, and remaining only 27% are belongs to other animals. It may be birds, it may be reptiles, it may be amphibians, it may be any other thing. But even when you are going to compare with even plants, that may be other microorganisms also, so more than 50% of the species are belongs to insect itself. So by this pie chart we can say that insects are so dominant in the earth. So now what about the existence of the insect, how long they exist on the earth? So I think you are familiar with the dinosaurs who are very older as compared to the human beings, because we human beings came only 1 to 1.5 million years ago itself, and dinosaurs around 200 to 250 million years ago they were on the earth. So when you compare the insects with even with the dinosaurs, they are very old. So insect appeared around 350 to 500 million years ago, much earlier than the human beings, because we human beings came just 1 to 1.5 year 5 million years ago itself. Okay. So if you see about the variations in case of insect, there are too much variations with respect to the size and shape of the insect. There are lakhs of species are there, which are completely different from one species to another species with respect to the color, with respect to the size, with respect to the habitat. Many variations you can see. So if you see the size of the insect, so it may be the smallest insect you can see is there is a firefly 0.127 millimeter, and the largest insect you can see there is nothing but atlas moth, which measures around 25 to 30 centimeter long. Okay, and heaviest insect if you see there is a Goliath beetle, it measures around 70 to 100 gram per single insect itself. So this is a a small mythological story where Prahalada is asked by his father Hiranyakashipu that where is your Sri Haryana? He's going to say that he is there everywhere. In the same way, in case of even insects, they are present everywhere around the earth. Okay, so it may be from cooler parts to hottest tropics. So if you see the examples for some of the pictures over everywhere it is distributed. They live in the water, they live in air, they live in deserts, high mountains, and they can be seen in croplands where they are going to act as a pest, even gardens, libraries where they are going to feed on some of the books, museums, stores, anywhere you can see the insects. There is no place that where you can't able to see the insects. Okay. Now why to study the insect entomology? That may be entomology. What is the necessary of it? Because one or the other way, or directly or indirectly, we are interact with the insects. Either they are beneficial, either they are harmful for us, or they may not interfere with this. Okay, so first of all, insects are most diverse and numerous of all the living beings and are frequently encountered. So insects are useful to man as a producers of silk, honey, shellac, chemicals useful in medicines and coloring materials. Many insects also serve as food for us, not only for human beings, even for the birds or even other organisms. And because of insects only we are getting the more yield, because they are going to act as a pollinators. And because of insects only you can see the scavenging of the any dead bodies that may be cadavers, anything scavenge the wide variety of organic waste and kill the weeds and insect pest also. So some of the insects are going to feed on other insects which are going to act as a pest. So they destroy the crops, they stored materials such as grains, processed food, clothing, furnishing, etc. And even they are going to suck the blood of a human being and other domestic animals. So they also spread many number of diseases to the human beings or maybe domestic animals like cattle and then plants. They are pests in households, eating places, poultry farms, etc. And even insects are useful as a models for the designers, artists, jewelers, and even for the engineers. Next, insects are immense aesthetic value. They are so beautiful, like butterflies, some of the jewel beetles and all. And because of their smaller size, they're having a high reproductive ability and shorter generation time. They serve as an excellent model system for understanding biological principles. I think you know center of genetics. There is a Drosophila melanogaster, which is completely very useful for the sake of genetical studies, since it's having a shorter life cycle. And insects also used for purpose of entertainment such as flea circus that may be fights of the horn beetles and praying mantids all over the country there, all over the world you can see it. So that's what I would like to ask. Why do we study the entomology? Because with the pictures you can see here, so insects as beneficial creatures. So more than 20 or 25% of the insects are beneficial for us actually. When you compare with the harmful insect, more number of beneficial insects you can see. So first one, if you can say that pollinators. So without insect we can't able to get many number of the food products that may be food grains. So take the example of housefly. So without housefly we can't able to get the mango fruits, and many of the plants are completely dependent on the pollinators like honeybees or maybe bumblebees and all. So next, insect as a beneficial creatures that is products. We are directly or indirectly using the insect products like it may be honey or it may be what you call silk dresses from the silkworm or it may be lac which can be used for the paint or it may be used for many important products like bangles or maybe any utensils. Next, so some of the insects are going to act as a predators or parasites. So predators are nothing but which are going to feed directly on the pest or maybe other organisms, and parasite it is also going to kill the insect in its immature stages, so that it is going to help the farmers to get rid of the pest. Next, some of the insects are going to feed on even noxious weeds where we can't able to spray any chemicals. Take the example of aquatic weeds where we can't able to spray any herbicides, any chemicals because it may kill the aquatic organisms there. Other condition, it is better to go for the uh, weed killers which are going to feed on them. So it is going to defoliate and finally kills the weeds, and they are going to act as the weed killers. So next, in many occasions, it is very difficult to cure some of the diseases with the chemicals or it may be medicines itself. So that's why some of the insects are helping us to go for uh, like it may be maggots or it may be honeybees where it can be used as a medicinal purpose, and some of the insects can be used for recycling also, so where they are going to act as a scavengers. So you can see one of the example that is called as maggot debridement therapy, that is MDT. It is a medicinal use of the live maggots, that is fly larvae, for cleaning the non-healing wounds and stimulating healing. So especially for sugar patient or maybe diabetic patients, so healing of wound may take too much time. So sometimes it's very difficult to cure it actually. Other condition is better. You can go for the maggot therapy so that you can heal the uh, wound as early as possible. So next, I told about the Drosophila melanogaster, so which can be used for the genetic study. So education, demonstration, model, scientific deduction like heredity, gene activity, cell division, evolution, sociology, behavior, resistant pathway, physiology, anything can be studied with the help of the insect itself. And some of the harmful organism or some of the harmful insects also I think you know. So especially mosquitoes, which are going to transmit many number of diseases for us, like it may be anopheles mosquito or Culex mosquitoes. And aesthetic value, if you see, so many of the insects are so beautiful. As I told earlier, it is butterfly, it may be jewel insect, it may be any other insect. So that can be used for photography purpose or jewelry purpose or decoration or art purpose. Next, many of the insects can be used as a food, not only for the human beings. In some of the countries, of course, they are eaten by the human beings like China and all, but even so it plays an important role in food chain and food web. Many organisms are completely dependent on the insect for the sake of food purpose. You can see some of the example like birds or maybe apes or other organisms are depends on the insect for the sake of food. Next, if you see some of the other harmful insects, so there is nothing but a crop pest which are going to damage our crops. So even they are going to attack on clothes, furnitures, food, possessions. Okay, and even some of the insects are going to bite us. They are going to sting us and transmit many number of diseases. And crop pest already I discussed earlier. They are going to damage our flower crops, food crops, vegetables, fruits, many things. So if you are going to study about the applied entomology or maybe fundamentals of entomology, there are there are some you can see some of the differences here. So fundamental entomology is also called as general entomology, and applied entomology is also called as economic entomology. So fundamental entomology here going to study deals with the basic or academic aspects of the science of the entomology. But in case of applied entomology, we are going to discuss about economic. There's deals which deals with the usefulness of the science of entomology for benefits of mankind. So general entomology includes morphology, anatomy, physiology, or taxonomy of the insect, but applied entomology covers the study of insects which are either beneficial or harmful to the human beings. If they are neutral, we are not going to discuss about it. Next, in case of general entomology, we study the subject for gaining knowledge or on entomology irrespective of whether it is useful or harmful. But here it is compulsory, it should be useful or harmful, not a neutral. So that is applied entomology deals with the ways in which beneficial insects like predators, parasites, pollinators or productive insects like honeybees, silkworms, like insect can be best exploited for our welfare. Okay. So even applied entomology also studies the methods which are harmful insect and how they can be managed or controlled. And there are some different definitions are there for the entomology like forensic entomology, veterinary entomology, and then medical entomology. So forensic entomology is nothing but so it is the study and use of insects in crime investigations, and veterinary entomology is nothing but study of insect related to livestock and veterinary animals. Okay. Next, medical entomology is nothing but study of insects in relation to the human beings. Means so some of the insects are going to transmit diseases like fleas or maybe mosquitoes. We are going to discuss about those insects which are going to bite us, which are going to transmit diseases. So this is a brief introduction about the entomology. Thank you.